Companies, organizations evolve within complex adaptive systems. What do I mean? So let's break it down. First of all, complex, which means there's tons of variables, tons of factors, both internal, like people, cash, products, process, and a bunch of others, and also external factors, external variables, like the economy, customers, competitors, the weather, you name it. And second is adaptive. All of these elements are continuously changing, they're continuously moving, they're all dynamic. And finally, there's systems, which means that they can be multi-layered, overlapping, or even fragmented. So this has two major impacts for companies which evolve within these complex adaptive systems. Companies are evolving within a context that's highly unpredictable, but also where change spreads very quickly. And in our technologically connected world, change is actually spreading faster than ever. Okay, but which organizations fail and which ones succeed within these complex adaptive systems? This is one of the reasons why 52% of Fortune 500 companies have disappeared over the last 15 years. And the winners are agile, flexible, reactive. They can react to change faster. But why is that? So what we found is that companies implementing this successfully don't only focus on making the organization agile, adaptable, reactive, flexible. What they do differently is that they also insist on focusing on the core element in all of this, the individual, the human, the glue that holds it all together. Basically put, just like good companies need good people, adaptable companies need adaptable people. That individual is the most important element. And that individual evolves in a complex adaptive system within a complex adaptive system. So your core resource, your people, need to be more adaptive and elastic than ever. Now, why is this important? What's the result? Focusing on the individual will allow you to attract talent, hungry minds. Focusing on the individual will also allow your organization to retain talent. And as we also see, it will allow you to grow faster than the competition. Companies that are the best at training and retraining their people have 65% less staff turnover than other organizations. Because good people tend to be obsessed with self-development. And if their employer provides it, they'll stay longer. We've seen successful examples of this at Skyscanner, Airbnb, also at LinkedIn, or companies like Google or Facebook that spend enormous time on training days, on training their individuals. The reason they're setting them up is because traditional educational institutions just aren't fast or adaptive enough to deliver the right type of people. And we also see the limitations of online learning. Online learning is great as a supplement, but the first step is usually offline physical learning. These companies have been able to build not only self-driving organizations, but they've built self-learning organizations. Organizations that can learn organically to adapt and to change, starting at the individual level. We call these people who have a growth mindset. We also call them T-shaped players. They have a wide range of interests and knowledge, and some areas where they have a very deep level of knowledge. They can understand and talk other departments or other people's language. For example, marketeers who also understand tech, analytics, behavioral psychology, or design. Or data scientists who also understand customer experience, product design, accounting, finance, and operations. And we believe that you should be training, retaining, but also finding these types of people. They will allow change to spread faster within the organization. Their brains are wired for change. And what's beautiful is for these companies, change actually becomes an advantage rather than a threat. They embrace the change, they embrace the speed, leaving the others in the dust. So how not to implement the first steps of a learning organization? From our experience, we'd advise a couple things. We actually think you shouldn't do the first part alone. You need a partner for the first part. Why? Because these programs tend to be very complex, very expensive. It takes super long to set up. Training is an expertise, a core competence that you might not have within your organization. The digital world moves too fast, which means a lot of curriculums get out of date in a very short amount of time. And teaching needs to be extremely practical, extremely hands-on, for people to understand the concepts more rapidly. Let me repeat that. It needs to be extremely practical. So what we advise is to de-risk the first steps of building a learning organization by having a partner. And once you've used a partner to build that first pilot or de-risk that first step, then we will have embedded the learning organization within the DNA of your company. And then you can do it alone. If you're interested in making those first steps of building a self-learning organization, get in touch and we'll show you the step-by-step process.